Hey, this is Joe Hoyt from DLLS Cowboys here with Clarence Hill from DLLS Cowboys, and we just talked to every assistant coach the new Cowboys staff has.
Yeah.
What are your first thoughts on that?
Their thought process on Schottenheimer and the type of staff he's putting together and his vision, it's about the players. And he made it clear to every coach, connect with the players. It's about family, connect with the players. The players are what makes this thing go. And you talk to all the coaches, they had one single voice, one single message for Schottenheimer. It's all about the players.
Mm-hmm. And I think one thing that Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones have talked about is continuity through change. And I think the coaching staff is a good example of that strategy or that kind of mentality, because you got guys that are coming back like Lunda Wells, and then you've got guys from Chicago that have all coached with Matt Eberflus coming on defense. But you also got some new guys on offense in terms of Klayton Adams and then Connor Riley. What were your just kind of impressions just kind of hearing Klayton Adams for the first time and kind of give his message about what they want in the running game?
I asked him about his running game and how important the quarterback run was to his running game.
Are you trying to get Dak hurt again?
I'm just saying. That's why I started laughing, because I asked him about it. He acknowledged it was, using Kyler Murray, and it's a big part of the running game. And he didn't shy away from it. That's something they will use with Dallas. Now, obviously, they're not going to call it all the time, but certainly in goal-to-goal situations, certain situations where you must-need situations, they want Dak to use his feet.
Mm-hmm. And I think, too, it was interesting because Klayton Adams and Connor Riley have never coached together, but they've known each other for 13 years. That was something that kind of came out of this. When then Connor Riley said when he got to North Dakota State, he wanted to work on pro development, right? And he wanted to learn how to do that. So what did he do? He went and hit up Klayton Adams, who they kind of were ships in the dark at Sacramento State. That obviously helped him develop a lot of guys into pro guys, including Cooper Beebe. Now they're coaching together. Defensively, you were talking with Matt Eberflus, guy who has a lot of familiarity here in Dallas. What was kind of Eberflus's mentality kind of coming back, and what he hopes to get out of this defense with, especially with Micah Parsons?
Well, two things. He said his focus, the hallmark of his defense is turnovers, which is what Dan Quinn said, which is what Zimmer said. It's all about turnovers. So they want to create turnovers, but more specifically regarding Micah Parsons, he is not a guy who blitzes a lot. He likes to get there with four. The Cowboys have a history of moving Micah around in different spots. He said that they're going to use Micah the way he's been used. They're going to try to get the best out of Micah the way teams have used him, coaches have used him in the past. So expect some similar stuff with that. Interestingly enough, he said they have an attacking defense. I talked to him. I talked to Aaron White, the defensive line coach. They will be attacking. They will getting up the field. That means it's not read and react Mozzie, because they both talked about the importance of Mozzie, and both highlighted that they think that Mozzie's going to be the best he's ever been this year, getting up the field. They say he's an explosive athlete. They want to get him up the field, but it won't be, hold up the line, the tackles or the guards to let the linebackers make plays. They will be attacking. They will get up the field. They think that's going to be something that Mozzie's going to do well in. So you like that with Mozzie. Obviously, the defense tackle position is important. Osa, Odigizua, they really don't want to get into free agency, but they both like Osa. They want Osa back.
Yeah, I think when you look at what Mozzie Smith did last year, there's a lot of downs, right? Yeah. Still in his second year. But there were some ups, and when they were ups, it almost seemed like it was very definitive movements where it's like, hey, we want you to cross over the center's face and then go make a play. So when it was definitive, when he was getting downhill, I think it worked. You know who my favorite interview of the day was, though? Was David Overstreet, who you know well, a Dallas kid. And he had this great mentality. I asked him about Trayvon Diggs and Deron Bland, two guys known for taking the ball away. And he said, hey, I tell my guys when the ball's in the air, it's yours. If QB threw it, he doesn't want it anymore. And if he threw it at you, you should take offense to that.
Right.
What do you think about just some of these other guys? What are your other takeaways on the staff?
Two things. Overstreet, he's an Omega. So, we got this bond. Obviously, a Dallas guy, dad, legendary OU guy, coming home is really exciting for him, his family to be, to come home. So I like that part about him. It's interesting that he and certainly Eberflus talked about the secondary. Is Diggs going to be there for game one? I mean,
we're not expecting
two of the best corners there. And are we ignoring the fact that Diggs is injured and had a major knee surgery? He might not be there to the start of the season. So we'll see how that works out. Clearly, talking to guys, they still have to get players. It's about the scheme, but they still need difference-making players, and it's always about the players who are going to make the difference. But yes, the running backs coach, again, Junior Adams, the wide receiver coach, we talked to him about development. These guys are about teaching and development. That's one thing that's a hallmark of the staff. Got a lot of guys from college who are coming here. They're focused on teaching and development.
And you've been coaching a lot of new coaching staff, or you've been covering a lot of new coaching staffs and coaching them. This was my first time covering a new coaching staff, and kind of this day where we get to meet all these guys at once. And one of my big takeaways was all of them had the same thing. We started trying to ask them about player personnel. they're still learning. They said that we haven't even dove into scheme yet. We're still even getting acclimated. Klayton Adams said we're all living at the hotel and just trying to get to know each other right now. I think that that's fascinating because I asked Klayton Adams about like the running game, and you don't have a lot of running backs right now, and how do you do that? And he said it's too early to tell. So I think one of the things moving forward too is we learned a lot about the guys today. There's still a lot in order to learn actually how they work with some of these guys on the current roster, what they're going to target in free agency and the draft. But that time's coming, Clarence.
Yeah, no, obviously free agency is coming up. You got everybody's going to the Senior Bowl next week. It's time to get down the road and get ready and get the staff acclimated and the team acclimated, put this team together for 2024. It's an interesting staff. A lot of unknowns. Unknowns for some people is exciting because you got a lot of first-year coaches, first-year NFL coaches here. You got some veterans that have come aboard from other teams, but it's a different staff. We'll see how it works.
Yeah, and one thing we asked them all about is the new guy up top is Schottenheimer, his first time being a head coach, what that's been like, and we got answers from every single one of them. We're going to write about that on alldlls.com, DLLS Cowboys. Sign up to be a diehard today where you can get all access to all our stuff, ad-free, everything. It's going to be a good time. We got a lot more. I got a story on Connor Riley coming out, the new offensive line coach. Talked to some people about Kansas State, about what he brings to Dallas. And then we're going to just kind of have a lot of content. Was there anything else that came to your mind today from these coaching interviews?
No, I mean, just, you look at guys and, just different guys come from different backgrounds. And, again, you talked about it. They're getting to know each other, and they don't really want to talk too much about players and free agency and stuff like that. But they know they're here to win. This is not a honeymoon. They're not here to come in and take 2 or 3 years. It's about winning now.
Well, yeah, stay tuned with all our DLS Cowboys coverage. We'll be back on the show tomorrow talking about all of this too. Sign up to be a diehard today and check out alldls.com for Clarence and myself. We'll see you guys later.
We all silly like the mayor.